こんにちは、皆さん。今日、私たちは日本語を勉強しています。質問があれば、私に聞いてください。Greetings. Today we are studying Japanese. If you have any questions, then feel free to ask me at any time. We're going to continue with immersion with Card Captor Sakura. Chika Shitsu Basement. Okay.
ケロちゃんも喋れるぬいぐるみだってどっかに売られちゃうかもしれないんだよ。
どっかに売られちゃうかもいらないんだよ。
ってどっかに売られちゃうかもしれないんだよ。それるぬいぐるみだってどっかに売られちゃうかもしれない。
Okay, so this is nada. Okay. Doka, finish reading, skimming, turning toxin, turning poisonous. Dokuka, somewhere. Okay, so I think that's what this might be. Sometimes Dokuka is said as Dokka.
いやいや。はい。なんで返事すんねん。こんなとこ見られたらご町内で噂になっちゃう。ケロちゃんも喋れるぬいぐるみだってどっかに売られちゃうかもしれない。出たらわかるで。こんなとこ見られたらご町内で噂になっちゃう。ケロちゃんも喋れるぬいぐるみだってどっかに売られちゃうかもしれない。
Okay, so she's saying Urare chao kamo. Okay, so Udu, to sell, to betray. This is probably to sell. So, so Udu, and then Urareru. Yeah, so this is go down verb, I'm guessing, because of the way it was conjugated. Yeah, that's right. Only Iru Eru can be Ichi down anyway. Okay, so that is to receive selling. To receive selling. That's probably in the connected form. So Udu becomes Urare Ru, which becomes Urare Te, and then this is Urare Te Shimau, and then she shortened it to Urare Chau. So ended up receiving selling, and then Doka. Or Dokoka, it's Fukushima adverb, somewhere. Yeah, because Doko is the where question word, so Dokoka can mean somewhere. So with somewhere, let's see, ended up, are we receiving selling? Let's see, Shiden Nainda. This is from shireru, which means to know. So, in other words, I don't know. That's how you. So that's basically how you say you. So I don't know if we'll receive selling from somewhere. What? Let's see. It might get sold somewhere. It might end up getting sold somewhere. So, let's see. Will it end up being sold somewhere? I don't know. Was basically the Japanese way of saying I don't know whether or not it will end up being sold somewhere. Or it might end up being sold somewhere. Let's see. Translate this. Is Doka a dialect accent? Doka is not a dialect or accent itself, rather it is a standard Japanese definite pronoun somewhere or someplace used across. While the word itself is standard usage, it can vary regionally in terms of nuance and frequency, but it's not exclusive to any specific dialect like Kansai Ben, which uses hin for negation. Is the choice of Doka versus Doka a dialect one? Wait, they are completely different. Wait, Doka is casual contraction. Oh, I typed it wrong. Is the choice of Doka versus Dokoka a dialect one? Dokoka is standard neutral, meaning somewhere. Doka is casual contraction of Dokoka, commonly used in informal conversation across Japan. While Doka is especially frequent in Kansai dialect and other regional speech, it is widely understood and used throughout the country in related contexts. So, どっかに売られちゃうかもしれないんだよ. Or I don't know whether or not it will get sold somewhere, or in other words, the more literal translation is with somewhere, whether it will receive selling, I do not know.
こんなとこ見られたらご町内で噂になっちゃう。ケロちゃんも喋れるぬいぐるみだってどっかに売られちゃうかもしれないんだよ。それは嫌や。はい。ケロちゃんも喋れるぬいぐるみだ。
キロちゃんも喋れるぬいぐるみだった or also Kiro-chan a talking stuffed toy.
だってどっか
I don't know whether it would be. I don't know what she's trying to say in total. With
ケロちゃん
maybe if I try to translate this as a block, it'll get it better. Let's see. Kira-chan might end up being sold somewhere as a talking stuffed animal, you know. Oh, the irony. As if announcing the merchandising in the anime. Let's see. So combined with the last sentence, that's Kira-chan mo dabereru nuigurumi datte. Let's see. Kira-chan mo shabereru nuigurumi datte. Doka ni urare chau kamo shiranaiんだよ. That's it. And before that, she said,
出たらわかるで。こんなとこ見られたらご町内で噂になっちゃう。ケロちゃんも喋れるぬいぐるみだってどっかに売られちゃうかもしれないんだよ。それは嫌。ケロちゃんも喋れるぬいぐるみだってどっかに売られちゃうかもしれないんだよ。それなんで返事すんねん。ケロちゃんも喋れるぬいぐるみだってどっかに売られちゃうかもしれないんだよ。
それは嫌や。嫌。Disliking. Not wanting, unwilling. There's iya, and then there's, I believe, hirai. We're using the same kanji. Disliked, hated, disagreeable. Remember correctly, iya is considered weaker than kirai. Is iya weaker than kirai and dislike? See, no, it's not weaker. Let's see. Kirai is not adjective meaning to dislike or hate. It's a subjective feeling or preference. It is described as an emotional state. Iya is an adjective meaning unpleasant, unwanted, or I don't want to do it. It expresses rejection, discomfort, or unwillingness to perform an action or endure a situation rather than a general dislike of an object. I don't want to go, or this is unpleasant. So, kirai, dislike, hate, emotion, okay. Iya, unpleasant, unwanted, reject. So, それはいやや, or as that is unpleasant or just not liked. Or basically, he's saying he doesn't like the idea of that.
で噂になっちゃう。ケロちゃんも喋れるぬいぐるみだってどっかに売られちゃうかもしれないんだよ。それは嫌や。はい。だよ。それは嫌や。
ドアチャイム。
はい。なんで返事すんねん。だよ。それは嫌や。はい。
なんで That's a kanji for response, if I remember correctly. The one on the left of that word. Let's see. Benji Sunen. Reply, answer. No, the second kanji is koto, and the first kanji is... What is the first kanji used in? Let's see, kayasu, to return. Oh, it's kanji used in kaeru? Kaeru. No. Unless it's here. Okay, so kaeru. Let's see. Benji soon. Let's see. I'm thinking soon is probably a kansai bin of shinai. Let's see. Explain the grammar of... This is the Kansai dialect contraction of the phrase. Oh, Hinji, not Benji. Yeah, Hinji soon. Hinji wo suru. The standard verb suru changes to soon. In this dialect, often derived from the contraction shiteru, or suru plus n. Explanatory. Nen is a kansai bin sentence ending particle equivalent to standard Japanese noda or desho. It adds an explanatory, emphatic or questioning tone, often conveying a sense of I can't believe you aren't doing this. So soon and suru mean the same thing. Let's see, soon is a colloquial contraction of suru in Kansai dialect, primarily in Osaka, where they share the same root meaning of to do. Soon is not direct, interchangeably scenario in all contexts. Suru is a standard neutral verb form used in formal and informal speech throughout Japan. Soon arises from the contraction of suru plus n. The explanatory no, often pronounced as n on casual, is commonly used as tesun or forms. So shiten, shiteiru. Okay. So there's it. Heiji sunnen or heiji surunen. Explain. Nande. Focus on the nande part. Nande, a colloquial contraction of naze or doshite, to ask why, in a casual direct manner, often implying surprise or demand for a reason. In this specific context, nande does not function as an explanatory particle. Okay. Which can be rendered as nde or nde, but rather as the interrogative nande, with what or for what reason, aka why. Oh, that's right. You can mark. So yeah, you can mark. I believe you can mark reasons with de. The confusion often arises because nande can also be a contraction of nono des, explanatory form. But here it clearly functions as a question word meaning why. The particle shows reason. It's the particle de can indicate a reason or cause, but with a specific nuance. It is used when the reason leads to an uncontrollable outcome or a factual result, not a decision based on personal will. Nande. Yeah, nande. Hinji sunen. In other words, with what reason did you respond? Like if they're in the middle of an emergency right here, and she responded to the person at the door, and it's like now they know that you're in the house.
だよ。それは嫌や。はーい。なんで返事すんねん。つい。
Sui. Just now. Quite near. In final, okay. Let's see, it's changing. It's translated in Sui as I couldn't help myself. But I think it's more literally meaning like just now. Where does Sui come from? Is an adverb meaning unintentionally, accidentally, or against one's better judgment, often implying that the speaker could not help but do something. It typically appears at the beginning of a sentence or immediately before the verb it modifies. In this case, it implies saying something unintentionally, and it is frequently paired with teshimau, or its contraction chao, to emphasize regret or the involuntary nature of the action. Sui plus flares. Okay, appearing more frequently at the beginning of a sentence. Sui is an adverb that may be translated as accidentally or unconsciously. Okay. So, gomen, tak, Takashi kun no I never realized that Kimi and Kun have the same kanji. So, Takashi Kun no Kuki ga me o mae ni atara sui tabete shimatta. Sorry, Takashin-kun, your cookie was right in front of me, so I absentmindedly ate it. Sensei ni okorareru to sui sui warachaun da yone when I am being scolded by my the teacher, I unconsciously laughed. There's third meaning unintentionally, subconsciously. Toriaizu Y wa see Y is Kansai Ben for I. See Toriaizu. Toriaizu. Remember correctly, Zoo was an archaic way of saying nai. So, and it now tends to be used in older expressions only, like making these negative adverbs. First of all, at once, right away for now. Let's see, last performer today, talking, taker, collecting, collector. Koyaizu is an adverb used to express a temporary or immediate action, often implying for now. First of all, at once. Okay, first of all, or at once. It's commonly used when prioritizing an immediate step before addressing the full situation. See, the term can be written in here again, okay. It does not literally mean to take the tori part. Okay, rather, it's a fixed expression deriving from classical Japanese. What would make up tori aezu? What words is toriaizu derived from? Okay, so it's derived from the compound phrase Toriru mono mo toriaizu. So toru mono mo toriaizu, which literally means taking without deliberation. Toru, to take, taking thing. Aizu, the negative form of afu, to bear. Or to do, which implies actions without hesitation or deliberation. If original reflects the modern usage of toriaizu to mean for now, for the time being. How does toriaizu mean? See, how does toriaizu mean without deliberation? Taking thing. Let's see. Toru mono mo. Okay, so continuing. Mean without deliberation in Japanese. Actually, maybe I should ask, where does the Iazu part come from? And I know it's like older Japanese. And Tori Iazu. comes from the negative form of the classical Japanese verb afu, which means to bear, to endure. Okay. Wait. There's utsuru, and go down verbs. There's utsuru. There's nubumu. There's ku and goose. And then there's su. Oh. I'm guessing. That it's. What type of verb is afu? Afu. It primarily corresponds to intransitive ichidan group to verbs meaning to overflow. It's supposed to be like it in. Additionally, afu can represent obsolete Godon Group 1 verbs with historical spelling. Afu. Yeah, I don't think there are any fu words, modern fu words in Japanese. Fu ending verbs. Anyway, onto the more important thing of what does this actually mean? See, for now, for the time, and it's derived from torumono mo toriaizu, or taken without deliberation. Which is a similar meaning to for the time being, because you're not deliberating, you're just taking it for the moment. So toiaizu waiwa, for the time being, I.
そんねとりあえずわいはケロちゃんぬいぐるみに話し
Nui gurumi ni hashi. See, hashi. Hashikakeru. Nah. Okay, so with a stuffed toy, let's see. Hanashikakeru is like cook plus hanasu to speak, which together means begin a conversation. In other words, he's saying you can't begin a conversation with a stuffed toy. ぬいぐるみに話しかけるな。Don't talk to stuffed toys or stuffed animals.
わいはケロちゃん、ぬいぐるみに話しかけるな。ずるい。
ずるい。Sly, cunning, sneaky, crafty, unfair. ずるい. In other words, that's sneaky or cunning. Whether she means that in a good way or bad way, I don't know. She could mean it in unfair because he now just left everything to her to deal with. Let's see. That's not fair. That's what the translator picked. Zurui. Okay, so... Ooh, yikes. Oops, okay. Wait, I saw when she lost her first shoe. When did she lose her second shoe? Mogakukoi? Did you recognize the shadow? Mogaku, to struggle, to writhe, to wiggle, to squirm. Oh yeah, then koi voice. In other words, struggling voice, aka the sound of someone struggling. Mogaku. Korewa, this is... Anna, well, Korewa, this is... Ma. Tolerable, passable, moderately, reasonably, fairly, rather, somewhat. Well, I think it would seem... Oh my. Yeah, it's probably that meaning, oh my. Moyo-chan or her friend.
お当番お手伝いしようと思ってお手伝
Otoban. Oh, Toban being on duty. Person on duty, one's turn. Let's see. Hit, right, himself, appropriate, turn. In other words, your hit on turn, or in other words, it's your turn. Otoban. And then Otetsudai, maid, help, or help assistance. And then Sho, this is probably from Sudo. So basically, shall I help another? And then this is quoted with to omote, which is more like the emotional thinking. Since she's not really doing logical analysis, she's just looking at the situation and it's like feeling, oh, maybe I should help. So in other words, shall I do help on one's duty, or shall I do help on your chores? Essentially, is what she's saying. So otoban otetsudai sho to omote.
お当番お手伝いしようと思ってお庭のお手入れですかお庭のお手入れですかお庭のお手入れですかまあ、ともよちゃんお当番お手伝いしようと思ってお庭のお手入れですか
Niwa, garden, yard, courtyard, field. So oniwa no. Let's see. Oteide desu ka? What is oteide? I know the te is usually the kanji for hand, and it tends to be used in help out words. I believe this kanji is generally the kanji you see in words like ed, entering, entrance. Maybe if I get rid of the honorific, it'll recognize it. Teire, care, looking after, repair, maintenance, tending, trimming, grooming. So oniwa no oteire. Okay, it's a sudo verb. Okay, so oniwa let's see. Oni wa oteire desu ka? Are you trimming the garden? Let's see. Oni wa no oteire desu ka?
しようと思って。お庭のお手入れですか？違うの。クローカードウッドの仕業。お庭のお手入れですか？違う。
違うの。クローカードウッドの
クローカードウッドの仕業。
仕業。
カードウッドの仕業。クローカードウッド。お庭のお手入れですか
？Well, chigao means to differ. It generally gets used to mean incorrect or wrong. And see, shiwaza is deed, action, act, or actions. Or as you might say in English, the doings. This is the doing of. Shiwaza. Okay, so from arts, performance, vocation, business, and a 10 official serve. Okay. First kanji tend to be used in Shigoto, if I remember correctly. Yes, okay. So, Chigao no, okay. Korao ka do udo no shiwaza, like, incorrect. This is the doing of the wood card, of the wood cloud card. Chigao no korao ka do udo no shiwaza.
お庭のお手入れですか？違うの。クローカードウッドの仕業。さくら、今のうちに封印するんや。クローカードウッドの仕業。さくら。
今のうち let's see. Now house? Let's see.
今のうちに封印する。
Soon, yeah. Let's see. Fuin suru. So, fuin to seal, e.g., a letter to affix a seal. Fuin. And yeah, uchi is the words when you were talking about your own house, essentially. Let's see. To do sealing. So, ima no uchi ni fuin suru nya. Let's see. Sakura, we have to seal it now. Okay. That translator totally ignored the word for house in there. Let's try it with help it with the kanji. Yeah. There you go, that might help it. Sakura, let's see, I'm going to seal it in this house. Actually, no, Sakura, you have to seal it in this house, or... Okay, what is... Ima no uchi. Oh, still can. Find the grammar of this. If I get rid of the word Sakura, it'll help it. See, ima no ichi ni meaning in the meantime, while it is still now. Fun suru, okay. To seal, and the Koko expression nya, explanatory emphasis. See, ima no uchi ni. This is a set phrase meaning while it is still now or before it is too late. It implies taking action during the current favorable time before circumstances change. Structure ima now, particle no, and noun uchi, particle ni, meaning while we still have this opportunity before the situation changes. Isn't uchi house? Isn't uchi house? Uchi. But uchi in ima no uchi does not mean house here. Instead, it refers to a time span or period within or during the current time. The phrase ima no uchi ni translates to while now, before it's too late. Let's see, uchi, while during. Oh, it uses that kanji used for inside of things. Okay, so in other words, while inside of the current time moment. When uchi, sometimes seen as uchi, okay, is paired with a case mark and particle ni, it expresses a period space within which something else will or should happen exist. It quite often, but not always, carries the nuance of A being the best or optimal time space within which B could occur exist. In English, uchi ni can simply be translated as while or during. Uchi ni may be paired with the dictionary or teiru form of verbs, the plain form of I adjectives or keiyoshis, nouns, meishis, okay, followed by no or na, or na adjectives, keiyodoshis, that are followed by na. Let's see. Kare to o mainichi au. Uchi ni dandan to kare no koto ga tsuki ni natte kita as I meet with him every day. I have gradually become to like him as it. Oh, that's right. Dandan means gradually, I think. Dandan. Gradually, adverb, okay. Little by little, more and more increasingly. Okay, so in that sentence, kare to mainichi au uchi ni basically means in the time span of meeting every day, essentially. So, atsui uchi ni tabete, eat while it's hot. Okay, unlike aida ni, uchi ni expresses something that can happen, exist anywhere within a span of A, and is therefore not specific as to where B is located. So, 運転している間に眠くなったので、コンビニで休憩をした。I got sleepy while driving, so I took a break at the convenience store. Let's see, versus, let's see, 眠くなったので、コンビニで休憩をした。Okay. Or if you say instead, 運転しているうちに眠くなったので、コンビニで休憩をした。I got sleepy while driving. So I took a break at the convenience store. The first meaning while in the process of driving. While the one with uchi means at one point while driving. Okay, so Ida tends to focus more over the entire span, while uchi tends to have a focus on a certain moment. Okay. Fun fact, uchi refers really to the inner walls or lining of something, and anything that is enclosed within that space. This can be thought as where the non-specificity of uchi comes from in regards to where within space something is. There we go, uchi within, while. So Sakura, ima no uchi ni fuin suru nya.
お庭のお手入れですか？違うの。クローカードウッドの仕業。さくら、今のうちに封印するんや。レディーズ。
Rerisu. Okay. I'm sure that's the official kanji way of saying that. Let's see. Fuin seal kaijo termination. Seal termination, aka release. From the kanjis of seal and stamp and mark. And then that one kanji coming from unravel, untie, and exclude, division, remove. Okay. So, kaijo termination. So fuin. So fuin kaijo. Okay. Rerisu. Okay.
のうちに封印するんや。レディーズ。汝のあるべき姿に戻れ。
Nanji no aru beki.
汝のあるべき姿に戻れ。
Nanji, I believe that is... Oh, it's not what time. You, okay, yes, archaic. Now, since this is basically a magical spell, she's having to use archaic Japanese as part of the phrase. So, Nanji no aru ideal situation, aru beki sugata ni modore. Yeah, modore is the command form of modoru, to return. So return. So your ideal situation. So return to your ideal situation, in this case being in card form. Let's break that down a little. Odore. To turn back, to return, yeah, and then arubeki sugata. Sugata, figure, form, shape. Arubeki, ideal, so basically ideal form or ideal figure, ideal shape. Arubeki, so desirable, the way something should be. So this is just the aru of exist. Well, Becky, auxiliary, should, must be, ought to. Is Beku a word? In order to, for the purpose of auxiliary, must, should, conjunction. Exist. So in other words, arubeki should exist, essentially. So arubeki sugata, the form that you should exist as. So nanji no arubeki sugata ni modore, or return to your ideal form. Steki desu wa Sakura-chan. Well, that was wonderful, Sakura-chan. Let's see. How is wa being used in this? In the phrase steki desu wa, the ending wa functions as a sentence ending particle used to add nuance or soft emphasis, exclamation, or realization rather than marking the topic. The specific usage is predominantly associated with feminine speech, often conveying a tone of gentle, polite, or slightly refined, and is frequently seen in media portraying rich, classy ladies ojo-samas or in casual expression context, while the standard Japanese protocol is written as... Okay, no way. The sentencing protocol wa is spelled wa and carries a rising intonation when used by women to express this soft assertion, distinguishing it from the Kansai dialect variant, which uses falling tone. Oh, actually, I can listen for that.
素敵ですわ、さくらちゃん。
Yes, that's a rising tone. In standard Japanese, wa as a sentence ending particle is primarily associated with feminine speech, adding softer emphasis on emotional nuance. Wa is both in Kansai dialect, wa is used both by men and women as a sentence ending particle for light emphasis. Okay, so see, in contrast with consonant dialect, wa is used by both men and women as a sentence ending particle for light emphasis, replacing the standard particle yo. It carries a falling intonation, making it sound more assertive and blunt. Compared to the softer, rising tone in standard Japanese, it is considered gender neutral in Kansai and a natural part of casual speech for all speakers. See, in standard Japanese, does wa mean the same thing as yo, but more feminine? Yes, in standard Japanese, the sentence ending particle wa is often used similarly to yo to add emphasis or express emotion, but it is traditionally associated with feminine speech. Okay, so it has a similar meaning to yo. While both particles serve to assert opinions, express realizations, to share information, wa carries softer, more emotional or feminine nuance.
素敵ですわ、さくらちゃん。どうかなさいましたか？どうかなさいましたか？
どうかなさいましたか? Let's see. What way or Stoka, what are you doing? Let's see. Doka na saimashita ka? please, if you would you mind, let's see, somehow or one way or another. Yeah, so in basically what way, yeah. Somehow one way or another. Nasai mashita ka? From Nasaru? Oh, Nasaru. Wait, Nasaru? Oh yeah, because it conjugates differently. That's right, Nasaru. To do. So, doka nasaimashita ka? In 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 what in some way, let's see, in what way you doing? In other words, what are you doing? So, doka nasaimashita ka? Yeah, so nasaru is basically applied a word for suru. So is something wrong? Is everything all right? In what way are you doing? In what way, what are you doing? Let's see. Explain the grammar of nasaimashita, the polite past tense of nasaimasu, which is the honorific form of the verb nasaru. Nasaru itself is the honorific equivalent of suru. Consequently, nasaimashita literally translates to did, but specifically implies that the action was performed by someone worthy of respect. The entire construction doka shimashita ka means is something wrong, did something happen, while doka nasaimashita ka elevates this to show respect to the person being asked. Whether or not strange, why is it constructed like this? Let's see if it knows the question. Okay. Why is doka shimashita ka constructed like that? Doka acts as an indefinite pronoun or adverb used to ask if something is wrong, often implying is something wrong. Shimashita is applied past tense assertive forming a core action of did something. So did something go wrong, I guess? Or in other words, what's wrong? Is something wrong? Okay, so どうかなさいましたか? I want to point out that Tomoyo-chan, notice she speaks extremely polite Japanese. You'll learn a little more about her background later, but you've seen it in some of the earlier. Actually, yeah, you saw it in one of the earlier episodes.
カードがないの。そんなはずない。その辺に落ちとるん。どうかなさいましたか?
Kado ga nai no. Or in other words, card doesn't exist, aka the card isn't here.
どうかなさいましたか? カードがないの。そんなはずない。その辺に落ちとるんじゃうか? どうかなさいましたか? カードがないの。そんなはずない。
そんなはずない。See, そんなはずない. Hazu should, sona, that sort of thing, and then nai, not exist. So that sort of thing shouldn't be existing. Sona hazu nai. And then sona something ni.
その辺に落ちとるんじゃうか? ないの。そんなはずない。
そんなはずない。その辺 area, vicinity, region. See, その辺に see, 落ちとる 落ちる to fall. Okay, so this is ochite oru, which gets contracted, and it's ochite oru, and it's ochite oru because this is kansai ben, and then that gets contracted to ochitoru. So ochitorun. Let's see, oshito torun. Let's see, chao ka. Wait, there's no te there, so why are we using chao here? Isn't it just lying around somewhere? Let's see. So, okay, so to come down, so when in a continuous state of coming down, it's lying around from a fall, okay? Find the grammar of this. Sona hazunai, this is a contraction of sona wa hazunai. Sona hazuganai, a contraction of that. That couldn't be possibly be the case. Let's see. Then sonoheni means this means around there or in the area. Okay. Ochitorun chauka. Ochitorun chauka. This is a highly colloquial contraction of ochite E9 chao ka. Wait, it's E9? Oh, Ochi. Let's see, Ochite E9 chao, or more accurately, Ochitorun Janai ka. Meaning isn't it that it has fallen over there? Or where did the to come from then? Toru, a dialect or colloquial contraction of iru. Used in the continuous form. Teiru. Oh, let's see. In standard grammar, this would be ochiteiru, is fallen or has fallen. In Kansai dialect or casual speech, teru often becomes toru. Okay, now it's just contradicting stuff. Yeah, that's what I thought. This was from Iru. Then why did it say Inai was used here? A contraction of no. Useful explanatory emphasis normalization chao, a contraction of chigao, different or wrong, and ka, the question particle of the chao ka, a rhetorical question structure, meaning isn't it the case that since it translates to that couldn't be the case, I think it's probably fallen over there. Oh, so I've never seen that chao before, a shorthand of chigao, so chao can be short for chigao. Yes, in certain dialects, particularly Kansai Ben, chao can be a contraction of chigao, meaning no or different. However, in standard Japanese, chao is probably a casual contraction of teshimao. As if the cha sound needed anything else you could load into meaning of it. Let's see. Sonohe ni ochi torun. So, fallen down differ ka. So, that area, with that area, fallen down or have fallen down differ. So, does it differ in that it's fallen down over there? So what kind of differ? It's the falling down over there kind of differ. In other words, as they were saying, this is how you ask rhetorical questions. So, そんなはずない。その辺に落ちとるんちゃうか?
What? どうかなさいましたか？カードがないの。そんなはずない。その辺に落ちとるんじゃうか。あちらのお部屋では？地下室。よっしゃ、カード取りに行こうか。うん、カードがないの。そんなはずない。その辺に落ちとるんじゃうか。あちらの
あちらの
お部屋では？地下室。よっしゃ、カード取りに行こうか。うん、辺に落ちとるんじゃうか。あちらのお部屋ではいましたか？カードがないの。そんなはずない。その辺に落ちとるんじゃうか。あちらのお部屋では？どうかなさいましたか？カードがないの。そんなはずない。その辺に落ちとるんじゃうか。
See. あちらのお部屋では So, あちら, that way, that direction. I believe this should be with Kachiru. Let's see. Kachira. Yeah, Kachira. Sochira. I think this is Kochira, yeah. Okay, so Kochira this way, Sochira that way, and this is the completion of it. Achira that way, but when we're referring to something neither the speaker nor the listener is near. So Achira no Oheya, that way room, Heya. Remember correctly, in this sentence, the de and dewa is the connective form of da. Right, indicating location, and while the topic block and particle together they establish the location of the topic of the sentence, meaning in at that place or in that room. Let's see. Is the de the connective version of da? No, de is not the connective version of da. Okay, so it's just marking location in this. Okay. Achira no ohiya de wa. Yeah, essentially sometimes when you're saying a question and you mark the subject essentially with, or the topic with wa, you don't have to actually say say the rest of it. So in other words, she marked that direction room. In English, you say, "Is it the room over there?" kind of thing. But in Japanese, you sometimes have to like refer to what you're talking about and then refer to the actual what you want to say, like the room over there. However, because it's redundant in this type of a sentence, you can just simply end it at wa and then have the question here. So, あちらのお部屋では
カードがないの。そんなはずない。その辺に落ちとるんちゃうか。あちらのお部屋では。そっか、地下室。よし。そっか。
そっか。Chikashitsu, I believe she said. Yeah, Chikashi. Soka should be like, that's right, if I remember correctly. Oh, right, I say yes, okay. Chikashitsu. Shitsu room, okay. So, Chikashitsu, so cellar basement. Basically, it's ground underneath room. Chikashitsu. Soka, Chikashitsu.
辺に落ちとるんちゃうか。あちらのお部屋では。そっか、地下室。よっしゃ。
Yosha, yes.
カード取りに行こうか。そっか、地下室。よっしゃ。
Karo, tori ni iko ka. Tori is basically the noun form of to take. Like if you wanted to refer to taking as a noun. So so yes. So this would be if he didn't drop particles, it would be like karo wa tori ni iko ka. In other words, should we go and take the card? Usually there's like, let's see, Iko. There should be a U on this. Is he just dropping it out for some reason? Explain the grammar of that. I want to know the reason, like, when things are coming unexpected, I like to look up why like, they're unexpected. Like, is there a reason why it appears to be a letter missing here? Ikoka is a combination of the evolutional form iku, to go, and the ka. Iko is the casual evolutional form of iku, which literally means let's go, I will go. In this context, it often used as a suggestion of self-motivated decision. The ka is added to the end to soften the statement into a question or invitation. The phrase ikoka, or more commonly ikoka, adds nuance of soliciting an agreement or checking to the listener's willingness, making the statement an invitation rather than a declaration. Is there a dialect reason why the food is missing? omission of u in ikoka instead of ikoka is not due to a specific dialect, but rather a feature of casual contracted speech in modern Japanese. In relaxed informal conversation, it's very common for the speaker to drop the u sound, shortening it to iko to iko. This is similar to how going to becomes gonna in English. Yosha, karo tori ni ikoka?
なはずない。その辺に落ちとるんじゃうが。あちらのお部屋では？そっか、地下室。よっしゃ。
This is awful.
その辺に落ちとるんじゃうが。あちらのお部屋では？そっか、地下室。よっしゃ。カード取りに行こうか。うん。地下室。よっしゃ。カード取りに行こうか。うん。
Sakura, Tomoyo, and let's see. I believe that's supposed to be like shaking sound. Let's see. How to write this in hiragana. Shindo-o, okay. Refers to vibration sound. Shindo-o. Coming from Fudu, Ugoku, and Oto. Sakura Ueya. Yeah, Sakura go up essentially. He said the above. Ue refers to as a noun that means sort of like the above. So in other words, saying Sakura go up. Otonashiku nata mitai. Otonashiku. Meekly, obediently, submissively, quietly. Otonashiku. I wonder if mild is probably maybe a better mild to become mild might be a better translation for this. Let's see. Wait, this is considered a fukushi? So adverb, okay. So おとなしくなったみたい。So mitai is like. So it's become it's become mild like essentially. Or calm down, probably could. He seems to have calmed down. It seems to have calmed down. Calmly. Maybe that's a better way of thinking of it. Calmly. Otonashiku natta mitai. Like, sort of similar, resembling. And natta is from naru, or to become. Hmm.
おとなしくなったみたい。太陽の光浴びて満足したようやな。おとなしくなったみたい。太陽の光浴
Sitayo no hikari.
びて満足したようやな。
Taiyo. Sun. Hikari light. Okay. Abite. To dash over oneself, e.g. water to take, to shower. That's right, this is the same verb used for showering, because it's literally having water coming down on you, essentially showering. So abidu, to bathe, or be flavored with. Okay. Basically, you could think of it like showering or having like a lot of small things coming down on you, whether that could be a physical object like water, or in this case, it's light. So, Taiyo no hikari abite manzoku. Let's see. Manzoku shita. So, satisfaction. Yoyana. Okay, manzoku. Okay. Satisfaction. Then shita did satisfaction. In other words, was satisfied. So, manzoku shita yoyana. Okay, so when it bathed in the sun's light, it became when it bathed in the sun's light, it appeared to become satisfied. Now you notice there, it uses yo here. This is the appearing like yo. In Japanese, when talking about how someone else feels, you cannot. In English, you often say it with certainty, as if you know how someone else feels. But in Japanese, they do not do that. You always have to use the word like that implies that you're. This is just how you think they feel. In this case, that's why yo is here. So, okay, so I think normally in this sentence you would have it'd be Taiyo no hikari wo abite, and notice it's in the connective form. The way you state things about previous things is you say the previous thing on the ending the verb in the connective form, and then you give your opinion of that, like it's nice or it's bad, or it appears satisfied. And that's the structure for how you give your opinion of a previous statement in Japanese. So you say it and then you end the verb in connective form, and then you say what do you think the opinion of that afterwards is. So with the particle wo, this would be Taiyo no hikari wo abite manzoku shita yo ya na. And of course it's ya because he's speaking Kansai bin, so it replaces da.
おとなしくなったみたい。太陽の光浴びて満足したようやな。さすがウッドさんですわね。太陽の光浴びて満足したようやな。さすがウッドさんです。おとなしくなったみたい。太陽の光浴びて満足したようやな。さすがウッドさん。太陽の光浴びて満足したようやな。
Sasuga Udo-san desu wa ne. So Sasuga, as one would expect, and then Udo-san or Wood-san. So to be Wood-san. So as one would expect from Wood-san, essentially. As one would expect, Sasuga, coming from the kanjis of current, sink, flow, 4-foot stone. Okay. Wait, so current and stone becomes as one would expect? Interesting history for that word. Why is this kanji used? As a type of ateji, poetic borrowing, also known as jakuji, where the character's meanings have no relation to the word's actual definition. The word itself means as expected. Indeed, that is just like expressing that someone or something lives up to their reputation rather than referring to flowing or stone. Oh. Right, the specific kanji combination originates from a story in the 5th century Chinese book Shisho Shingo involving a character named Sun Shu who, when expressing his desire to become a recluse, intentionally swapped the characters in the phrase wash mouth with rocks, pillow head on stream to wash mouth with stream, pillow head on rocks. When questioned, he gave a clever logical excuse and the phrase pillow on stream and wash with rocks. Later shortened to Sasuga, was adopted in Japanese to denote someone who is impressive or lives up to expectations. That's what I figured. It came from some sort of story. That's just like Miss Wood, isn't it? So, さすがうとさんですわね。
太陽の光浴びて満足したようやな。さすがウッドさんですわね。悲しくなったみたい。太陽の光浴びて満足したようやな。さす
質問がありますか? Are there any questions? If there's no questions, we're going to raid someone, so please stick around for that. Okay, so I think I found someone to raid on YouTube. Let's see what else. Oh, if you have any, if you can think of any questions, I can answer them. Okay, so Okay. On Twitch, we're gonna raid VR Nihongo. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna raid Bobby Poof Gaming. Okay. Okay. And then in YouTube, we're gonna raid Keen Reflex. Okay, there. Then we'd find the last person. Okay. Okay, so 皆さんお気をつけてまた明日。Goodbye everyone. See you later.